Welcome back to Destination Percussion. Today we'll be talking about how to make rail post isolators for your marimba, vibraphone, or xylophone. Most instruments use some kind of rubber piece to isolate the tone bar from this little metal piece sticking up on the end of the instrument rail. This is called a rail post. A rail post isolator is this little rubber piece right here. You've more than likely seen these before. They keep the bars from rattling and hitting and having metal-to-metal contact. These are the second most common part to replace on a keyboard, other than the bar string. Post isolators dry up, they crack, and they disintegrate over time. This typically happens to older instruments, kind of like ours here. Then you'll need to replace them after a while. You'd think they'd be cheap, but I'll get there and I'll explain. They come in a pack of 10, and they're about $7 to $8. Doesn't sound bad at first, but I don't know about you, but every time that I need to replace some of these, it's usually the entire keyboard or most of the keyboard needs these to be replaced. That measly $7 or $8 turns into $50 to anywhere up to $100, depending on how bad your instrument needs them. And it's not like these companies couldn't just make a pre-made pack for like marimba, xylophone, and vibes, right? But unfortunately, it's just not the way that this works. So this is the exact reason why I'll be showing you how to make a bunch of these for super cheap. Less than $20 actually. You can do an entire marimba, 2 vibes, or even a few xylophones, depending on what your project is. I'll leave a price breakdown at the end of this episode so that you can compare how much it cost me to do this on my own instrument, or how much it would have cost me to just buy them outright. And like always, I'll be leaving all the products to use in this video down in the description so that you can go pick them up for yourself so you can save some money. If you haven't watched the other 2 episodes, I'll leave those down in the description box so you can get the full context of our Musser M450 project that we have currently going on. Alright, first things first. As for the material itself, I used the Feelers Natural Latex Tubing from Amazon. The link is down in the description like we said earlier. All the dimensions are going to be up on the screen right now. I found 2 different colors. There's going to be a natural yellow and there's a black. We'll be using the black for this project. What you want to do is cut out a small strip to work with. I usually do 7-inch length on these. And for me, I used a Sharpie to mark the end lines of the tubing. Do not use scissors for this project because scissors are not going to leave a clean cut on the rubber. I tried, I practiced, and every time that I used scissors, it looked like a rat chewed up the ends. Instead, use one of these. This is a plastic tubing cutter. You can get a 3-pack of these on Amazon for $6 to $7. This will leave the ends of your post isolators with clean cuts. Clamp the tubing cutter down, then rock the material back and forth to ensure that I get a clean cut. Try not to lift the blade after you clamped it down. It'll mess up your cut line and it'll make the ends come out all jagged. Once I did all that, I cut the workable section into smaller pieces. These measured about 3/4 inches. For my project, I'm gonna need 106 of these from what I counted. So put on some good tunes because it's gonna be a minute. I did notice that the natural colored tubing was a tiny bit easier to cut versus the black. Just a little tidbit for you there. Most of the store-bought isolators are going to be a little bit harder to get on your instrument because they fit super tight. Dang it. I dropped one of the post isolators in there. These should just slide onto your instrument if you have a Musser keyboard that you're working with. As a bonus, I used some of these on the rail brackets of my Musser marimba. Some of them were missing on my instrument and these worked pretty well as replacements. Last bit for you, when it comes to the rail post being bent when you're trying to put on the isolators, all I really do is that I gently straighten them out with a rubber mallet of some type. You use a dead blow or something that is soft, that has some weight to it. Don't go swinging super hard on these. You'll break them off on the frame. These typically get bent from people pushing the bars of the instrument into door frames or other instruments or something like that. Something has to push up against the bar to be able to push it over. Alright, so for the price breakdown, I was able to do the entire length of my keyboard using 1 round of tubing. This is how much it would have cost me if I would have bought them outright. Pretty crazy, huh? Now, instead of spending that extra $100, you can go buy some mallets. I'll be allocating my money towards some drum heads for these new Yamaha snares I just got. I hope you found this useful, and if you have any questions, stories, experiences in this subject field, leave them down in the comment section. The next episode, we'll be talking about easy scratch removal on your resonators and your frame. This is going to be a super easy and cheap way to do this. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next episode. Peace out.